welcome to our Spain. Hi, Gaetano. How's it going?
Buenos dias, Tanya. It's going mucho bueno. ¿Y tú?
So mucho bueno that you have a Spain for us today.
I do. It's an and an ah. Well, it's an Spain and an Gaetano. It's one of
Well,
those.
yes. It's not always a good thing about us, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's our fault all
I
the
mean,
time.
sometimes we are human. And
Yeah.
so actually the other day, okay, well, like a week ago, we went to Lidl, which we've talked about the little
hmm
stores here before, and I went there and I was like, oh my God, guess what they have? Pumpkins. And not a shocker. They usually have pumpkins at Halloween.
Okay.
Okay, but they're kind of small. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get 3 for me and the girls. We'll have them for decorations and we'll have them for Halloween to carve and roast pumpkin seeds and do all the things that we love and miss about Halloween in
So
America.
they're big enough to carve
Yeah, they're like the
ish.
size of like not quite the size of a soccer ball and bigger than a softball. Between those two sizes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen those at Carrefour. That's kind of where we go. Yeah, a
Like
little
you can
bit.
carve a face, but you're not carving like a haunted castle in it. You're not getting
No,
really artistic in it.
we
You know?
usually paint. We usually paint them or just use them as decoration until Blaze eats them. That's usually
Oh,
what
okay.
happens.
Well, it's funny because I don't know about the ones at Carrefour, but the ones at Little, they have like jack-o'-lantern like face stickers on it. Like there's
Yes.
a mouth and an eye, so you don't even have to carve them. And I'm like,
No,
that's cheating.
I
That's what that
know.
is.
Totally cheating.
And so, anywho, so I bought 3 of them for me and the girls, and then we got invited to a friend's dinner party last weekend, and they were like, "Don't bring anything," and I'm like, "I don't care if you tell me not to bring anything. I've got to bring something." And then
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't have time to run to get a bottle of wine or something like that, and having it in the house." I was like, "Oh, they're Americans. I'll bring them a pumpkin. How cute is that?" And like, that's like, that's a nice thing to
hmm
do. And so we go, bring the pumpkin. I'm like, and I'll have time to get another pumpkin. So I go, they were like very, oh, thank you, a pumpkin. How great. We don't even have those. Well, yesterday, Paloma and I went to Lidl to go shopping. And I was like, I'm going to replace that pumpkin. No pumpkins,
No
all gone.
pumpkins. No.
And I don't think they're restocking them
I don't think
before
so either.
Halloween.
I'm sorry. No, they're definitely not. When they're gone, they're gone. If you see them, buy them for
Yes.
sure. Yes, 3 was probably not enough. I know there's 3 of you, but that was optimistic to just have the 3.
Yes. And I will say also with that is that when I bought the pumpkins a week and a half ago, whenever it
hmm
was, they had all this Halloween candy displayed, like what's like Wednesday related stuff.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
now we're still a week and a half away from Halloween, and it was just a little dwindle, just a rejected corner of Halloween stuff. I'm like, oh, so you're definitely not restocking that either. Like it's Halloween's already over here. It hasn't even begun,
No.
but
Well, I think that kind of ties us into the episode because we're going to talk about Halloween and how or not you can find things. And I think you've sort of pointed out exactly one of the things, which is that it's not so extensive that you can expect mounds and mounds of anything Halloween to be available up until the final hour.
right. So maybe this is what to expect on Halloween. That's
Yes.
the title of this episode.
What not to expect,
Or
I
what
think.
not to expect. Or how not to have expectations for Halloween.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, but you should try maybe Carrefour. You might get lucky. They might
Well, I
have a
do need to
couple of
go
little
down to
ones.
Carrefour because that's where I get my ocean spray cranberries juice, and we're out. So maybe I'll
Yeah.
make a trip down there later
Give that a
this
shot.
week.
You never know.
You never
Or
know.
if I find them outside of the city, I'll let you know where to go get them.
Okay, great. Oh, now I'm going to get one for you. No, I see how you are.
Because the chances of me dragging it into the city between now and Halloween are probably pretty slim. That's how good of a friend I am.
She's amazing, isn't she,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen? Such a sweetheart. Let me just say, I didn't bring her the pumpkin either. So there you go.
Well, that's true. But it was really nice of you to bring a pumpkin. That was a good gift to bring for a dinner. Like I think
Thank
this time
you.
of year.
Thank you.
It's always nice to be creative, don't you think?
I think so. It was a pleasant
Yeah.
surprise,
So, at what point are you and your girls, or you're going to be sending the girls over to secretly go and steal those pumpkins back?
Well, they live in a faraway town that we have to
They
take a
do.
cab to.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're going to keep the pumpkin. I mean, we still have 2 in our house, but one of us will not be carving. One of us will not have it'll probably be me too. I won't be able to carve.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I will say I have not yet found pumpkins here that are really carvable, like to
The
that
big
size.
ones, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't usually do what we did in America, which is, pull all the stuff out, roast the seeds, carve something, and have it be a massive fail or a massive success. That kind of experiences. We haven't had that here so much, but lots of other fun things to do. So
Well, I will say we do carve them and we roast the seeds, and it is worth it. But you're getting like a cat face,
I was
a
gonna
smiley.
say,
That's about it.
and 3 seeds.
No, actually, they do have a lot of seeds. So I will
Okay.
say, when you cut into them, don't be misled by the size of the pumpkin. They are still
They're still good.
Yeah, they
Okay.
still have a copious amount of seeds inside.
Well, that's good to know. So we could go into the background, I suppose, of what happens actually in Spain around
Right.
this time of year, because we
Like the
have
history,
other
because-
things. Yeah, we have other things happening, as always. There is not a weekend that there isn't some kind of festival in Spain. So like all the other weekends in the year, there's other stuff going on around Halloween.
Or a Tuesday. Don't limit it just to,
Right.
to the weekend, just the Tuesday. And I guess we could preface this that Halloween is a newer thing in Spain, as we can gather. It's a traditionally American thing that's kind of spreading about, but they did have celebrations. It's like Halloween was begat from these celebrations. That now Halloween is coming back to its history, kind of.
It's
thing,
kind
right?
of like the celebrations around Halloween that have nothing to do with anything, like trick or treating and things, are coming, are starting to sort of peak up around in different areas here, and definitely relative to where you live in Spain and how big the city is and that type of thing will probably depict on how much Halloween stuff is going on, for sure. So besides the Halloween, the other holidays we have here are the All Saints Day on November 1st and All Souls Day on November 2nd. So you've got like you're just starting on Halloween, and then you've got more to do.
Right. And
yeah.
I mean, and that's where Halloween came from, right? It's the Hallows Eve. It's the Eve before the Saints. So,
but they're really celebrating the Saints Day more,
right?
Really,
the souls and the saints. Yeah,
they really are celebrating those more as kind of a universal thing. But and that those kind of holidays are, I think, kind of more about visiting your deceased family members, going to the cemetery, bringing flowers. I haven't personally experienced a lot of celebrations around this myself, but we don't have family here. So that might be something that's really celebrated within families more, perhaps.
Right. I mean, I think it's a much more somber experience, right? That it's to remember those.
But they probably have fireworks too, don't they?
I don't know.
We'll find out. So anyway, lots of things sort of going on related, but definitely I would say since I've been here, we've been here 5 years now, and the exponential growth of the amount of stuff you can get, the costumes, the decorations, the amount of more trick-or-treating events that you can get yourselves into have increased tremendously, and the size of the ones that existed have increased tremendously too. So yeah,
I would agree, because in the 2 years, now this is our third Halloween, the mere pittance that was at the Chinese store when we first arrived to the plethora of things that are there now in just a very short time is pretty indicative of what's going on. I remember when we first arrived, like the Flying Tiger, that's the story, right? The Flying Tiger.
The Flying Tiger, yeah, that's the.
They had all the good Halloween decorations, but that was like the only place I could find a bunch. And now literally all the Chinese stores in my neighborhood have different, like you can go to 5 different Chinese stores and they all have different stuff too. Right?
They have aisles of stuff, plus the costumes and everything. So it's definitely. And then I've seen too now, which has a huge difference. If you go to Leroy Merlin, which is like, the Home Depot, the big hardware store, like they now could sell like these giant Halloween-y,
like
scary.
Those like giant werewolves and things.
Yes,
that people
and things,
buy their...
I think. I've seen them. I think it's there. I've seen now something that absolutely I did not see. And this might be something that was happening in like Madrid and bigger cities that wasn't happening here yet. But the idea of people decorating their houses and having these, like you were just saying, these life-size, whatever they are, skeletons and scary, ghouly things, that did not exist. So if you wanted to decorate your house outside of your house, there wasn't really a lot that you could do. Right. And now, like Giphy, I don't know, do you know Giphy? That's kind of like a Teddy type place. And
No, I don't think I know this place of which you speak.
oh, it's very cool. It's
Are
like
they in a city, or is it more of
I
a
don't
suburban thing?
know. It's definitely out here,
Okay.
and it's like the big store, and you have everything from curtains and blankets and to like lamps and tablecloths and tableware and like, and then
Okay.
they have a massive section for Halloween and a massive section for Christmas. Now, obviously,
Okay.
the Christmas section takes up like half the store, but the
Mm-hmm.
Halloween section over the years is now taking up like a quarter of the store. And that's
Oh
where you can
wow.
also buy like the things that you can project lights onto your house. Like, so it's really, that's now a place that you could literally get everything as
Okay.
well. And you can decorate. Because when I first got here, you couldn't decorate the outside of your house. I mean, you wouldn't have
Right.
even found it on like Amazon, I don't think. So very different.
Well, I will have to say it's kind of funny too, because you now can decorate the outside of your house, but for the most part, most of people's houses are behind gates. Which I
Yeah.
mean, you're decorating it for
You're
yourself and the
doing it
people
for
you have.
yourself.
Yeah, but you're not doing it to show off. Like in America,
No.
everyone's doing the house. Who's got the best house on the street? Here, you
No.
wouldn't be able to tell. You might see the head of a werewolf over someone's gate or wall,
Right. And
right?
then I think also, I mean, it's like you wouldn't do that at Christmas either. Like there just isn't
Right.
that. Like I've had that experience in England where if a house is decorated, I would be like, oh
Hmm.
well, that's obviously an American that lives in that house because no one else is doing that. And there
Oh, in
was,
England, they don't do like the lights around the
I
windows and
mean,
all
they
that
do a little
stuff.
bit, but to the extent that Americans do it, I think it's changed now. But
Right.
like maybe sort of 10 years ago or so, like especially where my parents live, which is a small place, people might decorate a little bit in town, but outside of town, no one's really doing it. And then there would be this one house that's lit up that you can see from space. And
You're
it's
like, oh,
like,
Bob Smith lives
clearly,
there.
clearly. So like there hasn't been a culture really in I think England or in Spain where you, which we used to do when we lived in America, which is get in the car and drive around
Oh,
to
I
all
do
the
miss
Christmas
that.
decorations, and I love that. And then where we lived in Alexandria for Halloween, you just walk out and every house is decorated. I mean, if your
Right.
house isn't decorated, you are Scrooge. That's it. There's
Right.
just no
Right.
way,
Yeah, it's become quite the money-making industry
hmm
for the people selling the stuff, for
Right.
sure.
Did you bring decorations over with you when you moved?
We we brought one, and I will say
What?
I'm mad because we like like I've said before, we purged like 95% of our
Right.
stuff, and I was like, I'm not bringing over a
Halloween
plastic
decorations.
arm and a plastic hand, like that's just going to take up space in our shipping
Right.
stuff. And I was like, oh, we'll be able to get that there. And then
hmm
when we first arrived and our first
You
Halloween,
weren't
we're like,
getting
oh,
half
we
arms.
no, we got some spider webs, and
But
that
no
was
no
it.
severed arms that you needed to
No
hang out the
severed arms,
window. And I will
but
say, I from my experience, we've been maybe slightly more attached to Christmas decorations than you are to Halloween decorations.
mhm.
Like
Well, we brought
maybe,
all our Christmas
yeah,
decorations.
see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Halloweens are more like fun and silly and whatever, right?
And they're cheap and they're not
Yeah.
heirloomy. Like the
Right.
Christmas
They're
ones
not
are
heirloomy.
heirloomy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And
Well,
so we're slowly collecting, but not so much because
mhm.
my kids are older. They're not, I'm like forcing them to celebrate Halloween this
Really?
year.
No, Xena loves Halloween. So
Yeah.
the thing is, this year we're moving, and we're not. So what we usually do, and what we've done since the beginning, is we would always throw a Halloween party because that was the only way to really get all of her friends and a bunch of people into costumes and having a party. And we would just decorate the house and do some ghouly things and make all, which I love, make all the Halloween food. You know, the severed
Hmm.
fingers and all this kind of. I love all that stuff. So that was what we did because there was nowhere to go outside of the city for anything like that. So we would create a party, and it was very popular and really, really
Hmm.
fun. And we had a mix of foreigners and Spanish. I actually would throw it with a Spanish friend. So we would just like, it was really loads and loads of fun. And that's
Hmm.
what we would do to kind of get, because otherwise we wouldn't have had a Halloween experience here at all. And that now is changing, I think, a little.
I mean, so obviously, as everyone knows, we live in the city, and there is a big celebration here, trick or
Mhm.
treating thing that was started by foreigners that organize it. And there's like a GoFundMe page, and they ask for people to make a
Now,
donation.
but it
Yeah.
started small. It
Well, I mean,
started much smaller.
I may have. I mean, the
Yeah.
3 years we've been here, the three Halloweens we've been there, it's huge. Well, last
hmm
year, unfortunately, it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
huge
it got
because of the
yeah,
Dana,
yeah,
and it was canceled and postponed and all that stuff.
yeah.
But our first year, I will say Paloma and I did it trick-or-treating. Omari had a sleepover in the suburbs and she had a bust. There was like supposed to be some expats doing trick-or-treating and her and her friends had a sleepover and they all went to the houses, and I don't know if they forgot the map or what, but they couldn't find any of the houses, so they were just these 5 kids roaming the neighborhood in costumes.
I mean, that can be kind of creepy, right?
Totally creepy.
It's its own kind of creepy.
And so Paloma was with me in the city, and I was like, "Let's do it." And she was a little bummed because she was like, didn't know what it was going to be like, and it wasn't going to be America, and we've never lived in like a city. Like LA's not a city. LA's just a giant suburban sprawl.
A bunch of little towns.
And so we got to Ruzafa, and I was like, well, I don't know how it's going to be either. So she was questioning it. And then once we got into Ruzafa and the amount of kids and the crowds and the liveliness, and it was very much, there's a pub crawl going on, and then there's kids trick-or-treating.
Oh, that's nice. You got the two things going on at the same time.
It felt like Mardi Gras. It was so festive. Wow. And our neighborhood's so quiet because it's not going here. We literally crossed the street into Ruzafa, and it was like it was a total mad mayhem.
Oh, that's so great.
But fun. And she came out with, not a bag as full of candy as has been used to, but she was like, Dad, I really like Halloween here. So it was nice that she still got the experience. Granted, different, smaller scale, but it was also different because it was a whole new experience. So it was still fun, and it was like she got to see, and she saw kids from her school, and I didn't know what to expect, how it was going to be, and I had a great time too. I mean, I loved it because they do it where it's the shop owners. They have gotten shop owners involved, and they actually give the candy to the shop owners. And then they have stands like at benches and apartment building doors. They'll have tables set up. And then they have like a Google map thing that once you've donated, they let you have the map and you know where you're stopping along the way. Mm-hmm. And it's really great. And it's really a sense of community. And what's really cute, because it is a newer thing here, how cute the shop owners are in it. Like they're like so excited by it because it's new. Like, what is this weird thing that they didn't grow up having?
I love that they started that, and that it has actually grown into such a thing, because we haven't really, there's been a couple, like our urbanization, completely organized by the Spanish people in it, had started a little Halloween trick or treat, which was really, really cute, but it was very small. And it was like 6 or 7 houses that actually went to the effort of decorating their houses because they knew they were going to be on one of the Halloween stops, right? One of the trick or treat stops. And then they didn't have like bowls of candy for you to dip your hand in. They just had like little bags. So they did like a little parade. Everyone got dressed up, and then they paraded like the kids from house to house. So all the kids came at one time to each house, and then you were done.
Well, that makes it convenient for the people, right? Because you're like, close up shop, we're done.
Exactly. So, but that was kind of like, I think, a nice way of people to do it when it's not everybody doing it, right? Because you can't just be letting all the kids run around whenever they feel like it. So that worked out really well. And then they did a little tunnel of terror in the in the rec center part of the urbanization, and that was like super, super fun. And it was,
did they have like, were people like dressed up as monsters and like spooking around the corner?
People were getting involved, and the guy that was organizing it looked like he had been massacred already, so they were really just so got into it, and it was really, really fun.
Awesome.
And it was like a level of scariness that was good for like a 5-year-old, and good for me too. I'm very pathetic. I can't handle it at all. But I thought that was really nice.
I don't know if we've mentioned it to the public, but Tanya and our version of what is a scary movie are on completely different levels.
No. It's I don't watch scary movies. That's it. Period. And I don't understand it. It is a part of your personality that I'm sorry I don't understand. But I will never.
And it's it's a family personality because we're all into the scary movies here.
Oh my gosh, no, I wouldn't be able to sleep. But yeah, so I think it's like increasing, which is lovely, and we're gonna have to find something to do this year. Like I said, we're moving, so I don't know what we're gonna
Yeah,
be
can we
doing.
just put it? Let's just take a little side note here and congratulate you on moving
Well, we
because
haven't
we
moved
haven't.
yet. We are
Well,
still in the throes of it, and my brain is still about to explode every second of the
well,
day. So
congratulations on
on
selling your home and buying a new one. And I would like to think you did it selfishly for our show because now you're going to bring a different experience because you're
yes,
moving. Want to tell you you're moving off the mountainside,
we
aren't
are
you?
moving off the mountain. Yeah, so we're gonna see. We just want to be a little bit more in the thick of it, with things to do,
Hmm.
and we're gonna, see how it differs. I mean, we've actually lived in this town before we moved up the mountain, so it's not totally new, but it's gonna be fun.
But it was COVID when
It
you
was
lived there, so
COVID. It's gonna be
you didn't
big.
know if people actually lived and walked on the
there,
street. So now it's going to be a
there
new
were not a lot of
experience.
people and walking around the town. That's true. Yeah,
So congratulations! I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for what you're going to be able to tell us in the future.
maybe.
What's
Yes.
what life is like in a village versus a mountain town.
Yes. So we
And now I
will.
can no longer make fun of you as our mountain friends. You're no
Yeah,
longer
but
our
we're
mountain
still the people
people.
outside of the city compared to you city
Still,
folk.
yeah.
So we can still make fun of each other. I don't think that'll ever end.
She's so small town.
There you go. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Back to
Oh,
Halloween.
so speaking of small towns, I guess one of the places that we always go for costumes is a place called Ducaval, which is in a little town, Vinalesa, which is outside of the city a little bit. I
I
don't.
know that
Do
town.
you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind
Yeah.
of nearish Massa Magrel in Moncada, and they have this super party store. So if you want anything party, they have like color coordinated plates and cups and all these sort of things, candy, and then they
Okay.
have, for every type of holiday, they redecorate, they redo the aisles for that. So
Okay.
there's lots of sort of Halloweeny stuff and lots of Christmassy stuff whenever those things come along. But the whole back of the store is a massive other store of costumes. So it is the best costume place for
Okay.
everything. Yeah. And
Now, are the costumes? Because I have only seen, pretty low budget spirit Halloween type
it's pretty
costumes in the
low budget.
package.
It's pretty much, I
It's
mean, it is. It's just more than you'll find at the Chinese store. So I mean, I think all costumes are pretty low budget in general by nature because
right.
it's a one time thing,
Well,
unless you're
as it's
making,
growing, maybe we should start a business of,
yeah,
those
really
the real
expensive ones.
nice rentals. Yeah,
But
the
I
horse
mean,
costumes and
so
the.
I believe, well, more speaking from the experience of living in LA, where you have so much like theater, like rental places where you can get really, 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 really cool things. And
Yeah,
that's
the
special.
movie costume rental places. Yeah,
That's
we
special
could.
to
Yeah,
LA, I think. And I
yeah.
don't, I mean, I don't know for sure. I never tried to rent a
Well, I
horse
think Chicago,
costume,
New
but
York, those cities have
yes,
that
yeah.
industry as well, for
But you're
sure.
not finding it in like some tiny little place somewhere.
No,
So, but yes,
not
so
so much.
absolutely, we're still talking the prepackaged things, but they will have a whole aisle for kids up until age 4, and then a whole aisle for older kids, and a whole aisle for adults. So it's like, and then they've got all the accessories, like just
Hmm.
a dagger or whatever it is you need, sort of thing. So
Right.
it's a really good place for everything party, including the costumes. So that's one of our favorite places to go browse before Halloween and see what we want to dress up at. All of us, because we will. Oh well, not Jawad, but the rest of us want to dress up.
Right. I still want to dress up, even if I'm not allowed to dress up, because
Why would you not be allowed
what?
to dress up?
Because they're teenagers, and I'm just I breathe, and it's embarrassing.
So you might as well
But
dress up if all you have to do is breathe.
right. And I will say here too, the Chinese stores, I've said they've grown, the selection has grown, and there are the costumes. And what I've also noticed this year versus the other years, now they're up marketing the decorations. They had like
Mhm.
a mutilated toddler looking thing,
And maybe a
and it was
bowl with like a hand that comes out and screams at you or something.
yeah, but this
Yeah.
thing was 85 euros.
Oh
I was
wow.
like, okay, this is now, they're expecting people to have really
Yeah.
taken on to Halloween here to start selling that. I mean, I can sell I can see taking a risk on a €1.50 severed hand.
Right.
But when you're starting to stock the shop with €85 mutilated toddlers.
Are you looking at, are you talking about the Chinese store like in Puthol or the ones in the city?
No, like around the corner.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
the one right around the corner
Wow.
in the city, which is, it's a more upscale Chinese store as they go. But I mean, it's not that upscale.
Right.
You know? But speaking of Pusol, I was up there a couple weeks ago, and I was there for a meeting, and I was a little early. So I'm like, I'm going to roam around for a second. And I walked into, I want to say the place is called like Pusol Bazaar, Bazaar Pusol.
Yeah, that's probably
like
right. Because the other one's called Humley, which also is, you need to go to to Humley next time. I know it's called Homely or Humley. I don't know how you say it.
Okay. And it was like not really a Chinese store. It's more of a bazaar, right? Because I've seen some of these in the suburbs. It's not so everything, right? It's not so...
Well, what they do, the reason why they're not everything is because when you get out into the suburbs, like Puthol probably has like 3 or 4 at least of them. So what they tend to do is then specialize. Like if you want gardening stuff, they all have a little bit of everything, but this one will be more gardening, and this one will be more Halloween, and this one will be more whatever.
More homewares. Because this one seemed much more homewares. But when I walked in, they had this huge, what you're talking about, huge section of Halloween that I hadn't seen. And the city hadn't started stocking Halloween yet, because this was a couple weeks ago. And so I walked in there and I was like,
already?
What is this place? And I'm like, I didn't bring a big enough bag to take any of this back into the city.
I'm sure they'll sell you a bag. I'm sure that won't be a problem.
Yes, but I didn't need to carry it. I didn't need to walk into my meeting with a severed arm. And so...
You're no fun.
But then now there's, then the city started stocking up, and I'm like, this is a lot more than last year. And last year was a lot more than the year before. So it is nice to see how it's growing. And my Spanish friends are asking me about it, and they want to know about the trick-or-treating. Like, they all knew, they actually are the ones who told me about the trick-or-treating, but now they're asking me, what are the rules? Where's because there's like I said before, there's a GoFundMe page. I think I said, right? Did I say that?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a GoFundMe page. But
you can also, so when they very, very first started, which may have been around when we got here, I'm not sure if they were going on before COVID, maybe a little bit. It was like, just bring a bag of candy, right? And then I think it expanded to, people sometimes showing up and not participating in giving candy and stuff. So they tried to make it easier, I think, by saying, if you're really just, then at least give the money so that we can go buy the candy if you can't pull that together, which is fine. So trying to make it easy, because they really are, it's like, it's a whole bunch of individuals putting this together out of the kindness of their heart. So, if you're going to participate, definitely they want people to also give the candy and help or pay, right?
Right. Yeah. And they don't ask for much. No. And the GoFundMe was like, please donate €5. And what I think is great about that, and I've seen people do this in other cities. So if you live around Spain, check your Facebook, WhatsApp groups, or if you're moving here, see if they are doing trick-or-treating Halloween things. Because I think, especially in your larger expat community cities,
there'll surely be something. Because that's the other thing with the Halloween candy. Like, we've seen, like in the local supermarket, they'll have like a tiny little section where they have a bag of pre-packaged, like packaged candy and stuff, and you can buy a bag of that in all these places. But there isn't an extensive amount of like mini Mars bars and mini candies and there's not an aisle of stuff that can be put into Halloween bowls. There's really very little.
There isn't.
So that's the other problem, right? And that has also expanded, but that is also a problem of that you're going to get the same candy everywhere, because it's just one bag of prepackaged candy.
It's a very limited supply. And what the people that do for the Valencia one is, I personally would recommend people, this is me, no one's telling me this is my own personal opinion, donate the money, because they go up to like Madrid Costco and stock up there and then bring it down. Yeah. So if you're bringing candy, you're bringing it the day of, and then someone has to take it to a stand that might be low. So if you can, and see if it's the donating to it, because then they know what to buy and bring it. And yes, that was the bummer, is we're not getting our Three Musketeers and stickers and those things. But what was also, on the side note, an adorable thing to me, was like, is this one restaurant that was participating in it. The man who owned it was so excited, and he had made the candy, and it was like these little marshmallows.
Oh, lovely.
And it was so cute, but then he put them like from like the cookie sheet into the bags. And I was like,
Aw.
oh, but they're not wrapped. So when we got it home, they're all covered in like the bag lid. And we're like, next year he'll get it. But it was so
Oh,
sweet
that's so
because
sweet.
it was sweet to see how people were excited.
Yeah.
And, and then you had the pub crawl people also, doing their thing. But they were so cute looking at the kids. It is cute to see
So
a
the
bunch of
pub
kids
crawl
run
people
around.
were being like respectful of the situation.
yeah.
They were being okay, good. Just want to make sure,
Because it's over by 9, so it's too early for the pub crawl people to have gotten messy.
Right.
Hopefully.
That's so funny. No, I think it's really expanding and it's fun because we lived in Alexandria was the quintessential American experience of what Halloween looks like on the movies, right? And then we moved here and it was like, oh, we need to throw a party because otherwise we're not going to be experiencing this at all. And it's really nice to see it expand and really everybody get into it. It might be instigated by foreigners bringing over here and movies and things, but I can see like a real excitement from the Spanish people in the areas that we have lived to also give their kids a little bit of Halloween fun, and then the parents really getting, because it's fun to get dressed up.
Right.
I was telling you, I think that time I came to visit you one day, and we got home relatively late on the metro out, and we ended up when we got off the metro. It wasn't Halloween. It was like March or something. And everybody in the town was dressed up because if it was Halloween, of course it's Spain. So when I tried to go find out what was going on, I couldn't find any articles or anything about what this thing was. So I have no idea. So,
which, if you haven't noticed from us before, we will often say you will have no idea of finding out what's going on as it's happening, because the Spaniards just know what's happening. And if you want to know, you're not going to find out.
You might know for next year. I will often get I'll follow the Facebook page of our town or something, and they'll be like, look how much fun we had last night. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have been there. Right. I followed their WhatsApp group. You could have put a thing, hey, it's happening tomorrow. But I have no idea what this holiday was, but it looked like people were dressed up for Halloween in all different types of costumes. So there is some holidays here that are obviously making use of these costume shops, even outside of Halloween. So they do exist for other things as well. So they can just expand a little bit, and now obviously the Chinese stores have really got on board at this time of year, which is fun.
Now, you've been in a couple schools here. Have either of your schools, because my girls attend one of the British schools, and they don't celebrate Halloween at all. I mean, the kids are they're having sleepovers and doing things, but the school itself doesn't have a sanction thing or wear a costume. Has either of the schools?
But you have a uniform too, so that would be a big change to be like today. You not only do you not have to wear a uniform, but you can also come in as the devil. Would probably be.
They have they do have non-uniform days during the year.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're not always. I mean, it's like 3.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3. They have non-uniform days, and then I think some of the classes will win a non-uniform day. So there might be a group of kids without a uniform because their class got a bunch of high levels or did something. Okay. So there's competitions too.
Well, that's fun.
That's a tangent. Now back to Halloween.
Back to Halloween and back to school. So we were in an American school, and so as if you've listened to our school episode, you'll know that you can start your kid at 0-ish and they go all the way to the end in most of these international schools. And so with the young kids in the school that we were at, you could dress up and they would have a mini little parade with the little kids around and do I think some form of trick or treating to each of the classrooms and stuff. But then,
oh sweet,
yeah, so it was super cute, and they did it I think through elementary school, and then once Zena got into middle school, she was like, why aren't we allowed to do it anymore? But they were allowed to come to school dressed up. But of course, it kind of, the enthusiasm wanes because you get too cool and what you can dress up as and stuff.
I'm too cool to have fun, Mom.
But Zena loves dressing up, and we love it. And I love to do face painting, and I have my whole face painting set. So I love to do cool face stuff. And so she would love getting dressed up and going to school, and that was absolutely allowed. But we also didn't have a uniform there. So it was just what's going to stop? They just had very few rules, which was, I think, you're not allowed to bring fake weapons. I think that was the only thing that was a rule. Otherwise, come in something that's not gonna, don't come. But I mean, people would come dressed as these giant blow up cows and things.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I mean, they were like really, yeah, like really having, like, there was a group, even once Zena got into middle school, it was like, there's definitely always a group of kids in each class that wants to just go for it and they're happy to, right? And then others that
Uh-huh.
are too cool for it. So it starts to diminish a little bit as they get older, but they're all allowed to. And that was really, really fun. So we enjoyed that. But in the new school, that remains to be seen. It's not Halloween yet.
Okay.
I doubt that we now have a uniform too. So I very much doubt that there's going to be
Well, and I
anything.
doubt it too because Halloween. I mean, it's not Halloween yet, but it is very soon.
Yeah.
So it's well, again, we'd like to say they should have mentioned it by now, but they may mention what happened on Halloween 2 days
That's
after
true.
Halloween
In school.
Yeah.
So we had I think they did a really cute job with, especially the younger kids, to try and give that kind of experience. So that was fun.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. So I think something we've got to mention too, which is kind of cool. We haven't done this yet because there isn't one like nearby. Is that the amusement parks here kind of do it America style, or what we're used to in America style, which is we have some very large theme parks in Spain, and they do the Halloween nights and the spooky
Yes.
parades and all of
You
those.
haven't been to, because we haven't been to any of the amusement parks or theme parks either. So I don't even know what they're like outside of Halloween. But when I went to their websites and I was looking at the pictures, did give me the impression that they were going to be providing something really cool.
So my oldest daughter has been to Parque Warner, which is like the Universal Studios type. It's a large, I mean, it's got the upside down roller coasters and all that kind of stuff. So she's been like, it's an American style, or I hate to say American style because it's not. It's not American style. It is a large
theme park,
amusement park,
and that's near Madrid. That one.
That's in it's right outside of Madrid, and that's huge. What they do there, which I think is, which I've read about and I've heard about too, is they do the scary nights, which is more adult based. So they have like, you can bring kids in costume for like a month. I think all these amusement parks do it for like in back what we're used to. It's a month-long celebration. The parades are themed Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's true, because they're not going to put it on for one night. So these theme parks are doing things for longer, right? Like
right, and if they have parades, they'll be themed for Halloween.
And that sounds a lot like
scary mazes.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like what's going on at PortAventura as well. The similar-ish, you think?
No, I think it's very similar. And PortAventura is a much bigger theme park. Like PortAventura is like a Disney World type theme park here. It's like Warner Madrid is big but small, where PortAventura is like I think it's like 3 amusement parks and tons of hotels. Like it's a
like
place you go for
thing.
a week.
And I would say that's probably about the same distance, because that's in Tarragona. So that's probably several hours in that direction, and then Madrid several hours there. So that's probably
they're not
very similar. But yeah,
to get to from here it is for sure. But what Parque Warner does is they have a scary nights thing, and I don't know if you ever did that at Universal in LA.
Okay, again, have you met me? Does it seem like something I would have done?
I guess I should have paid attention earlier. So you haven't done it, but maybe your friends had told you about it, where like it's scary. Like there's like people with like, machetes coming at you.
Yeah,
and you're
I'm not
running.
doing that.
You're not doing that. Well, they do that at Parque Warner, and that goes on to like 3 to 5 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Like on the Halloween night, it goes on really late. It doesn't start until 10. And at that one, they even have the rides going open. Until late.
Okay.
But I have to say, in researching this, I went to their website and they're like, children over 12 should be accompanied by under 12 should be accompanied by an adult.
Under 12?
So wait, under 12? I was like, so a 13-year-old can just stay out until 5 a.m. being chased around by
probably. I mean, it's a park, I guess.
Oh, Spain.
Oh my gosh. Well, and also funny that you mentioned that, because when I was looking for stuff, they do have also like Halloween escape rooms. And I saw that and I was like, oh, an escape room. I've wanted to do one of those. And I was like, oh, a Halloween one that sounds fun. And then I was like, no, it doesn't. That sounds way too scary for me. So I don't know what I was thinking as I was reading it. I sort of had this moment of like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And then I was thinking, maybe in Spain, something like that might be less scary than it is. And it might be a little less than it is in America, possibly, maybe, and I could handle it, but I don't know.
I don't think I got Parque Warner or maybe PortAventura, but maybe at one of these smaller ones.
Yeah, no, the escape room I'm talking about, which is going to be like
the separate escape room.
That's a separate escape room. Yeah, those are the ones that are doing them in the city and stuff. And I was thinking,
yeah, those are all over the place.
Small place. Yeah. Maybe I could handle that. But Zena went to one for somebody's birthday. She went to like a Halloween escape room. And of course, we're all, well, I'm not going to speak for Jawad, but me and Zena are more all in the same realm of not really wanting to be scared that much. And she said it was a little too scary for her overall. So
Okay.
yeah, that was probably a thing. But they do have those too.
Well, we may go and roll our eyes and be like, that was scary.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on such different levels that I'm 100% sure that's how you would feel.
And there are other amusement parks. There's a place called Tibidabo in Barcelona and Isla Mágica in Sevilla.
Mm-hmm.
I know Isla Mágica is a larger park, not as
Okay.
huge as Parque Warner, but they have big roller coasters and stuff, and they do the parades and stuff. So I think a lot of the theme parks around the country
Yeah.
are partaking. I mean, who doesn't want to have fun?
Exactly. So I think overall we can say that things are definitely happening. They're happening more. If you are living outside of the city or even in a city like you are, you can definitely look for what's happening, but you can also create your own. I mean, we've created our own little trick-or-treating things and stuff in places that didn't have it, just for the kids, because sometimes if the kids are really young, they don't really mind, they just want to collect candy and get dressed up, right? So
they just want to
have fun. It doesn't have to be huge.
Like, definitely, it's not going to be what you're used to, but it's such a pleasant surprise that you can make it what you want it to be, and it's welcome.
Exactly.
Right? It's not like you're bringing some holiday where people are like, why are you doing that? The Spaniards I met are inquisitive about what it kind of means.
And it's happening enough that it is expanding a little bit, and there's more and more things happening. And if you're really hardcore about it, then, you've got these parks and things, and maybe in Madrid there's much more serious stuff going on as well, since it's a much bigger city. So I would imagine, and it's maybe been there for longer, because these things are sort of, the movies are bringing it in and people are getting more excited about them. So yeah, we do love Halloween in our house, I will say.
I mean, I love it here too. I'm not gonna lie. I got our 5 decorations up.
I know, we need to expand too. I have one box, I think. So you were nice enough to give me boxes of these lovely plastic boxes with the clippable lids when you move, like the really big bins and so I've started to use those for all the decorations that I'm collecting. And I have 2 of those for Christmas and 1 of those for Halloween. So I think I need to expand to 2 for Halloween, I think.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah, our Halloween's fit in a bin like a third of the size of the one I gave you, and that's got our Easter stuff in it.
Oh my gosh. You have some shopping to do.
Well, my plan is to hopefully move in the next year. So I have put a squash on buying anything that's not food or uniform related into our house until we've moved. That's a good idea. Because I don't know where we're moving and what it's going to look like. So
good plan. Well, more on moving later, but for the time being, I hope everyone enjoys Halloween wherever you are in the best way possible.
Wherever you are, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Ciao.
Bye.
Hey, can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Ospain Podcast.
And on our website, ospain.com, which we will be updating with exciting new things as we grow.
We would love for you to message us with any topics you would like to hear about.
See you next time.
Bye.